Alright guys, today we're going to be going over some basically figures that I need, or even perhaps possibly props that I need. This whole series will basically be like me showing you the document, or documents in some cases perhaps, but basically the planning that I do for like manga covers and stuff like that. Of course, I do something very similar for like, animations, okay? So this will be kind of similar to the videos that I make, like, every Dragon Ball figure I need to animate, whatever, or even in some ways similar to the every DBZ fight you can recreate series, but in this case not like edited like that, just me showing you like my plans and notes and so on, okay? So this is a document I've made outlining some of the Saiyan Saga manga covers I'd like to recreate. I'm going to try to do this in chronological order. So this is just some Saiyan Saga stuff, and first of all, of course, as far as manga covers in general go, I don't like want to recreate every single manga cover ever. For example, there are some things like this, which is like a manga cover volume. I think it's like a volume cover. So I don't really have an interest in stuff like this. This is stuff like more like, how Tonsen Art Toys made that figure of Goku on a bicycle and stuff. Pretty sure that's based on a manga cover. And I'm not really interested in that kind of thing because it's not like directly related to the Dragon Ball story itself or anything. It's more like art that Toriyama made for fun and that kind of stuff. So for me, that is not really what I'm interested in. If the Tonsen Art Toys figure was cheaper, wasn't like, $70, $80, whatever, I might have considered it more strongly. But I don't feel like spending $80, $70 or whatever on a Goku on a bicycle figure when I don't really care about Goku on a bicycle. You know what I mean? So that's that. So the first Saiyan Saga manga cover would be chapter 195 here. And this one is very simple, just like a purple background and Raditz smiling, looking forward, very, very simple stuff. And as you can see here, I have like kind of notes to myself, like whether it's completed or not. And this says SHF needed, meaning I would need an SHF figure, at least one SHF figure to recreate this manga cover. And I don't have Raditz, of course. So the 2021 SHF Raditz would be the best figure for this. There is also the, I don't know what year it was it 2023 or something? The Raditz and Kid Gohan set. So either of those could technically work, although this is the full color manga, not the original manga, right? And as far as I'm aware, the original manga colors for Raditz were different than the full color manga colors, which are similar to the anime colors, okay? So in this case, as far as the color of Raditz goes, the anime colored figure would be more accurate, okay, than the manga colored one, even though this is a manga cover, okay? But yeah, I mean, the SHF Raditz figure is very, very expensive. I don't really feel like spending that kind of money on that figure right now. Potentially, I guess Bandai could reissue it at some point, but even if they do reissue it, it'll probably still be a scam anyways. It'll probably still be like, $80, $90, $100, whatever. So I don't really get very excited when I hear that Bandai's reissuing a figure, unless I guess if it's like a $38 figure or whatever that I kind of want, perhaps that could be something I'd get excited about. But in most cases with SH FIGUARTS, if a figure costs more than $38, it's probably a scam. That's unfortunately the reality that we're dealing with, right? So even if they do reissue this Raditz at some point, it'll probably still be way overpriced anyways. Ideally for me, I would like to see another company, another legit company, start making Dragon Ball figures, okay? That's what I would ideally like to see. And if that were to happen, then I probably want to get those figures and use them for manga covers, animations, recreations, whatever, that kind of stuff. But unfortunately right now, we're stuck with only Bandai, okay? So there's that. For chapter 196, same thing. The only figure I'd need for that would be Raditz once again. And I will say, like, I don't really like the body proportions of the SHF Raditz figure, because if you look at the manga cover here, right, he has kind of a more, like, he's muscular, yes, but he has kind of a slender body. And the SHF figure looks very, very chunky or bulky, which I don't really think looks like how Raditz's body looked. Like, he did definitely sometimes look a bit more bulky, like more bulky than Goku, for example, but not like this. It's like, honestly, like the way they made his body, he looks kind of overweight, you know? And I don't really like the look of that. So if someone else were to make a Raditz figure, I'd really prefer if it had a body proportional style, like a body proportions, more similar to what you see on the manga cover right here, right? Like not this super chunky thing, because that is just like, I don't think Raditz really looked like that. At least he might have looked like that in some frames or something, but generally he didn't look that bulky like that, you know? So yeah, for chapter 196, I would need the same Raditz figure as before, same thing. For 197, for this one just has Gohan on the cover there, Kid Gohan with his arms, you know, in front of him, whatever. For this one, there really are basically just two options if you want like an SHF style figure. That would be either the SDCC 2024 Goku and Gohan, or the DF Father and Son, The Unbreakable Bond. For me, I'd probably prefer to buy the DF one because it's much better value for your money, you get better accessories and so on. And with the official release of this, for like $100, Bandai did not include the Tamashii stand to put the Nimbus Cloud on, which is just very cheap. They basically spat in our faces with that, in my opinion. So I wouldn't really want to spend that money on that and like basically support that release financially, to be honest with you. Which is why one reason I didn't pre-order it or anything like that is just the price is just ridiculous. So I'd rather use the DF one personally. But the unfortunate thing is that because this Gohan figure does not have any elbow joints, you can't pose him with his hands in front of his body like that. So if I wanted to actually accurately recreate that pose, I would have to Photoshop his hands or like modify his hands or customize them or something. You know, I would rather not do that. I'd rather not be like, you know, Photoshopping the figures to accomplish certain poses and stuff. But that's really the only way you could get that Gohan to look like this. Or as I said, you can modify the hands, I guess, make your own custom Gohan or something. But as far as the Bandai one and the DF one, they're both the same as far as the posability of the arms. So you can't get him in this pose. That is unfortunate right there. And as you can see, the colors are different, right? So this one has a green hat. This one has a red hat, red and yellow hat. This one has green and red. And his shirt, I believe this is the San family symbol right there. The San family symbol is black right here, but on this one it's red. So you see the difference between the anime colors there and the manga or full color manga colors there. I don't know whether the original manga had these same colors or if it ever even showed Gohan in color at any point, but there is a difference between these two right here, right? So yeah, unfortunately, this is another semi-statue situation. I'd like Bandai to stop doing this nonsense and actually give the figures proper posability. For example, this Gohan, you could have given him an articulation style similar to mini DAIMA Goku or something, you know what I mean? Instead of this statue arm nonsense, okay? And then we have chapter 198. For this one, we have Raditz, Goku, and Piccolo. I have Piccolo. I do have lowest born Saiyan Goku, which I could technically use, but in this document here, I put the DF Father and Son as the required figure for that, or the needed figure for that. And then we have Raditz right here. And you see right here as well, Raditz, once again, he doesn't look as chunky as the figure, the SHF figure does. He is muscular, he is in shape physically, but he doesn't have that chunky look to him, you know what I mean? So yeah, very strange. I don't know why they made him look so chunky like that. But yeah, as far as figures needed for this, you have the 2021 SHF Raditz, the DF Father and Son, or the SDCC 2024 Goku and Gohan for Goku, and the Proud Namekian Piccolo, okay? Now for chapter 201, for this one, the unfortunate thing is that, like, unless I were to either Photoshop Goku or something, or make a custom, or get a custom from someone or something like that, or if someone made a figure at some point, essentially, I can't really recreate this cover because there is no barefoot Goku figure, you know? I know that recently DKO revealed that they're making the Ultra Instinct Goku figure, and strangely, in some of the promotional images for that, like some of the poses and stuff they've shown of the body, he has bare feet, and then in other images he has boots on. So I don't know whether they're gonna make it so you can have him with either bare feet or the boots on, which would be interesting, I guess, and I mean, it might help with something like this, but at the same time, I'm wondering why they're doing that, because I don't remember Goku ever being barefoot while being an Ultra Instinct. Was he barefoot in the manga? I don't remember seeing that. The only time I've seen Goku barefoot is like, I think the 23rd tournament is which one it was, right? The 23rd tournament against Piccolo, and then with the fight against Raditz. I don't think Goku's been barefoot after that, as far as I'm aware. You know, at least this like adult-sized Goku. So I don't know. But I don't think I'd buy the Ultra Instinct DKO figure just for the feet because it's battle damage and stuff. If anything, I would rather probably buy like a 1/12 scale body or something with bare feet, or use the one that I have and try to make like a custom barefoot Goku and stuff like that. I know Kenny Boys Toys made a tutorial many years ago of how to make a barefoot Goku figure, and I could possibly take some inspiration from that, try to implement some of the stuff that he mentioned in there. But yeah, I mean, right now there's no official SHF Goku figure or an SHF style figure, like third party or whatever, that has this kind of look. Okay, I've never personally seen one, but I would need Proud Namekian Piccolo, Raditz, and Barefoot Goku, which, you know, for that there's no figure available. I don't think making a custom would be that difficult. Like, you know, it probably wouldn't be that difficult to, like, say, sand the wrist bands off and like repaint the arms, I guess, or something, or even just buy like a 1/12 scale body and put those arms on Goku's body. And then for the legs, though, that would be the trickiest part. I think you'd probably have to like remove his boots and then like sculpt extra pants onto the bottom of his, you know, leg there, and paint that to match the other parts of his pants, or just repaint the whole orange color, and then put like some 1/12 scale feet on there. So I don't know. It's not impossible. I might consider making that custom at some point. I think I could probably accomplish that. But yeah, I don't feel like making customs right now because customs take a lot of time. And I don't really have generally as much free time as I once did, you know. So chapter 202 is just Raditz once again. I think someone requested this cover actually a while ago. For this one, of course, the 2021 Raditz figure would technically work, but he is actually battle damaged, and you see a bit of the, you know, the wounds right there and the damaged armor. So theoretically, if I made this, I could just, you know, ignore the battle damage, or I could just Photoshop that to look like it's actually battle damage, which I don't think will be that difficult to accomplish. But yeah, it's a consideration, something I could think about. But yeah, as far as the official figures go, though, of course, with Raditz, we don't have a battle damage Raditz figure or anything like that. So there's that. Chapter 204, very simple cover. This is just, it just says Sayonara Goku. I think this is the one where Goku dies. And because of the symbol on his back right there, the lowest born Saiyan wouldn't actually work for this without photoshopping it, because it has the King Kai symbol on the back instead of the, I think that's the Turtle Hermit symbol, right? So, and I would say that like basically editing the shadow for this will be kind of fun to try to see how I can make it look like it's actually, you know, Goku's shadow or whatever. That'd be kind of cool to edit right there. But yeah, so this would actually be the most accurate figure, because I think even the Saiyan Raised on Earth, I think that has a different symbol on the back. I think it has Goku's like family symbol on the back, or the Sun symbol or whatever. But the lowest born Saiyan has a King Kai symbol, and this one, let's see. Yeah, so this is a Turtle Hermit symbol, I think. And then this one has the Turtle Hermit symbol on the front and the back, I believe. So this one, either the DF Father and Son or the SDCC 2024 Goku and Gohan set, that Goku would have, I believe, the accurate attire needed for this. And of course, it wouldn't be that difficult to Photoshop it if you wanted to like change the symbol, but I would rather just have the figure be an accurate figure to begin with, you know, preferably. And then chapter 208, this one is also not technically possible, just like we saw with chapter, what was it? Chapter 201, okay? Because for this one, there's no Kid Gohan in this kind of clothing here, like the training in the wilderness, or when Piccolo had him in the wilderness and stuff like that, right? There's no Kid Gohan figure like that, either from official SH FIGUARTS or like a third party or whatever. And also I wanted to mention too, some of these manga covers in the full color manga have the wrong numbers on them, it seems, because this one says chapter 209, but when I checked with like the Kanzenshu guide, the manga guide, that is actually chapter 208. Okay, that is actually the cover for 208. So it seems that this is a misprint, and it should say chapter 208, not chapter 209. So I want to make sure to be like aware of that stuff, like for a video. Like if I say chapter whatever, it's not the wrong chapter because the manga covers were misprinted or whatever. So this is actually, as far as I can tell, chapter 208, not 209, even though the cover says 209. Okay. Another issue with this cover is that there is no Great Ape figure, right? There's no like Ozaru figure. There is, of course, the bootleg that I saw, the Mexican bootleg, which is pretty expensive, like $80 something I think I saw last time, $80 or $90, something around there. And it mentioned that I have to pay tariffs as well. So I was like, yeah, I'm not paying tariffs on this big monkey thing. So that one is like an L, basically. You know, hopefully at some point we get an official Great Ape figure that's not ridiculously overpriced. Or if there's a third-party one made at some point that I would probably want to get, then that'd be cool too, I guess. So yeah, but there's no Great Ape figure right now, either from, you know, Bandai or from what we recognize as third parties. This would probably just be called a bootleg by people. But really, I mean, is there really a difference though? Is there really a difference between bootleg, third party, and custom? You know, they're really... The lines between them, like where you draw the line, is very, very ambiguous. And I actually do plan potentially to make a video about that whole subject in the future. Basically, like, what is the difference between a bootleg, a third-party figure, and a custom figure? Because honestly, kind of like semi-spoilers, like, I don't think there's really any difference actually. Like, they're really all the same thing ultimately. Like, custom figures, they are the same thing as bootleg figures. They're just not called bootlegs because people make them and call it a custom or whatever. It's very weird if you think about it. If you think about kind of like the double standard, where it's like, if a third-party customizer, right? Let's say a Chinese customizer makes some, you know, custom Goku head sculpts or whatever, we call it third party. But if an American customizer makes some Goku head sculpts, we call them custom head sculpts. You see the double standard there? If a Chinese person does it, it's a bootleg or a third party. If an American does it, we call it a custom. But they're doing the same thing. They're both making unlicensed products of a copyright protected franchise. So they're both actually doing the same thing, okay? But anyways, I'll save that for that video potentially in the future. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to cover for this one, just part one. There are other covers, of course, I want to discuss and talk about, but I'll save those potentially for future videos like this. All right, so thanks for watching. I do want to make episode 4 of the manga covers pretty soon, like in the near future. So look out for that. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.